Hello and welcome to this video on pregnancy yoga for low blood pressure. My name is Bettina Ray. I'm a yoga teacher here in Australia and I specialise in all things to do with fertility, pregnancy, birth and early motherhood. So low blood pressure during pregnancy. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do. I've had low blood pressure now through my first two pregnancies with my two boys and now during this pregnancy. Usually I haven't really noticed the effects of low blood pressure until quite late, so 30 plus weeks. This pregnancy, from about 15 weeks, I've been feeling dizzy. If I walk to the top of the stairs, I'm like, I really need to catch my breath. And you may even notice in the videos, I actually can't talk for very long. As soon as I start talking, it's almost like that is taxing enough on my body that I'm like, I need to just wait and take a breath. So what's happening in your body during pregnancy to cause low blood pressure? There's such a change in the blood volume during pregnancy. I think your body creates something like 50% more blood during pregnancy, which is huge. And I've also found personally, when I'm tired, it feels a lot worse. So if I haven't slept, if I'm suffering from insomnia, which you can check one of my previous videos out, I've shared on pregnancy insomnia. If I'm really tired, it feels so much worse. Of course, anything to do with pregnancy and not feeling well that you're unsure of, you should definitely go and get checked out by your doctor or your midwife, whoever you're working with. But basically, with low blood pressure, they don't do too much for you. They basically tell you to rest and to drink lots of water, which it honestly really does help. So make sure you stay really hydrated. So a yoga practice when you have low blood pressure can actually be a little bit tricky because when you go from low to high, so when you're sitting to standing, when you're flowing, so I used to teach a very flowing style of yoga where we would move through what we call vinyasas. So you go from standing to lying, moving all around. There's a lot of movement happening in the body and I can't do that anymore. And you will find that any exercise that takes you from low to high is going to be really challenging when you've got low blood pressure. This yoga practice today is really recognizing the fact that when you have low blood pressure, you need to stay close to the ground. I feel that need to do a lot of grounding when I have low blood pressure because I feel like so much of it is like this airy, dizzy feeling and I want to be grounded. So I want to sit on the grass and I want to dig my feet into the dirt and the sand. So those things can help, but in our yoga practice, we're going to do similar things. So we're going to stay nice and close to the ground. I've got a bolster today. If you don't have a bolster, you can just use a cushion or a pillow off your bed. And we're probably not going to go too far from the mat, so you won't be doing any standing or anything like that. How is this going to help you? Is it going to fix your low blood pressure? No, it's not going to fix your low blood pressure, but this is a practice that you can do when you are feeling dizzy and tired to help you calm down, to still get a bit of a stretch and to feel good in your body without making that dizziness worse or feeling unsafe during your practice. So let's get into our practice now. We're going to come into child's pose using the bolster or the cushion or pillow, if that's what you're using today. So we want to bring it out in front of us so that we can sit back towards the heels. Obviously you want to take the knees nice and wide and you're going to bring the bolster in because it's going to support underneath the chest and give us some space for the belly. So just resting yourself down, closing down the eyes if that feels good, letting your body feel heavy here, really resting into the bolster, resting into the hips. Breathing in deeply through the nose. And as you exhale, see if you can settle into your position a little bit more. I want you to notice the points of your body that are connecting with the mat or with the floor beneath you, or with your bolster or cushion. See if you can really sink into them, feel the support that the ground below you is giving you. And then slowly walk the hands back up. If it feels more comfortable, you can bring the knees in, or you can stay with them nice and wide. Just take a really gentle twist, so looking over one shoulder. Still breathing deeply into that belly. And then gently releasing back in the opposite direction. And then bringing the hands behind you, interlacing the fingers and just drawing the hands down so you can open up through the chest a little bit. So sometimes when we have low blood pressure, it feels like we can't breathe properly. So really focusing here during our practice on filling the lungs as much as we can. Teaching ourselves to use all of the lung capacity that we actually have. And then gently release the hands back forward. Bring the legs out in front of you. So just bring one leg in and the other leg is going to just fold in towards it. And again, bring that bolster in. So inhale the arms tall. And then as you exhale and come forward, just rest down on that bolster. So you can rest the head and neck down. Keep drawing the toes of this foot back towards you so you're getting a really nice stretch through that leg. And again, keep the breath full and deep. As you inhale, just coming to sit back up, so sitting back tall in the spine, and we're going to draw this leg in, and it's called rock the baby, because it's exactly what it looks like. You're just going to rock the leg from side to side, so gently stretching into the hip, opening through the inner thigh as well. And then if it feels good, you're just going to take peace fingers around the big toe, or you can hold onto the whole foot and just gently open the leg out. So that might be as far as you go. If you can get it straight, of course, you can go there. So you're getting that beautiful hamstring stretch. But even if you're here, you'll probably still get just as much of a stretch. And then releasing the foot down. So we're going to take the other leg out long now. And just again, inhale. Make some space through the spine, really breathing into those lungs. And then exhale, just folding on down. So soften through the head and neck, releasing any tension that you might be holding there. And then gently sitting back up, drawing this leg in for rock the baby. It's a really gentle rock from side to side, just opening that hip. If of course you're having any hip pain, this probably won't feel good, in which case skip this pose. Maybe check out one of my other videos that I've done, I'll link it above, where you can learn how to really support the body in a yoga practice when you're getting that SI or pelvic dysfunction pain. And I've got some specific practices for that. So general yoga is not going to help you if you've got really severe hip pain. But if you're quite tight through the hips, then this is going to feel quite nice. And then we're just going to open that leg out to the side. Just gently stretching. And then releasing the foot back down. Just moving the bolster a little so that you can bring the soles of the feet together. You'll notice that I've got quite a lot of space here because I'm going to come forward and you're going to rest the bolster or cushion on the feet so that you've got support to fold the head down, really releasing through the head and neck. If your hips are quite tight and your legs are really high, you might find you just need to sit up straight and just gently press the knees down. But if they're already releasing down, you'll get more of a stretch if you lean forward. And slowly releasing the body back up. We're just going to roll that bolster out the way for the moment. Bring yourself forward on the mat slightly. Bring the feet in towards the hips so they're pretty close towards the body, and the hands are behind you, fingertips pointing towards the feet. As you inhale, you're just going to press into the feet, lift the hips up. If it feels comfortable for your head and neck, you can gently release them behind you. And slowly release the hips back down. Let's come to take a seat and just take a little circle through the hips one way and then the other. Just releasing out any tension that you might have created in the shoulders from lifting up. So it's really softening them down. And then we're going to bring that bolster behind us. So bring it right in so that it's really supporting the low back. So you want to be right up close when you come to lie over it. So it should really feel good for the back, opening through the chest. Now the legs you can either keep with the knees falling out to the side. You can bring the soles of the feet up, so that's going to support if you're having any tightness or soreness through the low back, or you can take the legs out long. So you decide here. Turn the palms up. Take a couple of deep breaths in and just feel yourself resting again into your position. So really softening into the mat, softening into the bolster. Bring the hands above the head and feel there's a little bit more opening through the chest and the shoulders here. And see if you can breathe a little more deeply into the chest, filling the lungs as much as you possibly can with each breath. Knowing that you're going to feel better, have more energy, and feel that blood pumping a little more normally if you've got the oxygen in the body. So really supporting the body through the breath here. And then finally, just bringing the hands onto the belly, connecting in with your baby. So being aware, perhaps of movement if they're wriggling around like mine is. Perhaps just being aware of their presence, this little soul, this little life that grows within you. Taking a moment of gratitude for your body, for all that it does. So even though you might not be feeling your best, if you're really suffering from low blood pressure, giving this thanks to the body for all it does for us, taking us through our days, growing this baby within us. And then gently releasing the hands back down behind you and slowly coming back up to have a seat. So I hope that you enjoyed this little pregnancy yoga practice for low blood pressure. I hope that it's just helped you feel a little bit more confident that you can still physically move when you're feeling this way. And sometimes a little bit of physical movement, so not too much because you probably are having quite low energy from this low blood pressure, but a little bit of movement can actually help you feel a little bit more expansive, help you to focus on the breath, and give you that connection to Bub as well. Thank you again for joining me. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you hear when the next video lands. And also, if you would like more pregnancy yoga practices, you can check out my online yoga circle. So this is a community of other mums just like you at similar stages to you, where you can access my whole library of videos for pregnancy, but also preparing for birth and early motherhood and recovery as well. So check them out if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you again for practicing with me, and namaste.